Seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Public forum for this evening? No one for public forum this evening. All right, we have some great presentations tonight. First, I want to introduce Ms. Christina Schoonmaker. She is bringing our junior high school jazz band here, and we're going to have a performance by them. And I want to say thank you, Ms. Schoonmaker, for dedicating your time and bringing us and showcasing the very best of our students. So we're going to turn it over to you and let you hit the microphone right there.
Thank you so much. This is our junior high jazz band. This is all 7th and 8th grade students that have been playing through almost 3 years and almost 4 years. It's pretty impressive what they can do when they put their minds to it. It is Music in Our Schools Month. All of the parents here know that by now. In just the last 4 weeks, we've had our band festival concert, all county band, our choir festival concert, the New York State Honor Band out in Syracuse, New York, and of course, many of you were at the high school musical Mamma Mia this past weekend. We've got a lot of events coming up too. We've got our NISMA Solo Festival coming up. Give us a wave if you're going to NISMA Solo Festival. That's an entirely optional, you're all going, okay, great. An entirely optional thing. It takes a lot of work that these students are putting their time into and preparing to go play by themselves for an adjudicator. It's very exciting. We've got our spring concerts at the elementary, junior high, and senior high levels. We've got our band and chorus, our high school band and chorus going to the Music in the Parks trip, and our 7th and 8th grade band is going to the NISMA Majors Festival, where we perform at NISMA as a band and get evaluated as a band. And then finally, that same group, our 7th and 8th grade band, and this group, the jazz band, will be going to the High Note Music Festival in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So that's a look at what we've got coming up. We hope you can join us at some of those events. Our first tune was called Been There, Done That. We've got a more familiar song for you now called Billie Jean. And since we're here, I can't help but brag. I'm going to ask, can I do this? Yeah. I'm going to ask our students that received accolades throughout the year if we could just recognize them quickly. If you could just give a wave if you're already standing, if you're sitting, maybe pop up. We had a number of students participate in the Hudson Valley Honor Band, which encompasses students from Ulster, Orange, Dutchess, Rockland, Westchester, and their families all drove them down to Monroe Woodbury High School for weekly rehearsals this fall. That's Eleanor Nunez, Kylie Moreno, Matthew Henry, Wesley Mastrangelo, Annalise Keener, and Isabella Velasquez. Go ahead, give waves. In the Ulster County All-County Band, these students have to go up against high schoolers, freshmen. Specifically, it's a 7 through 9 band. In the all-county band this year at the junior high level, we had Alexa DuPont, who's not here tonight, but the rest of them are Charlotte Zielinski, Matthew Henry, Isabella Velasquez, and Hadley Walsh. And for the first time in my career, and only the second time in Ellenville history that we're aware of, we had a student at the junior high level make the New York State Band Directors Honor Band out in Syracuse, New York. And on the French horn, that is Matthew Henry. Congratulations, Matthew. Thank you. So parents already know this. Board of Ed members, most of you had your families go through already, so you know the band kids are the busy kids, right? And so just for them to be here tonight, many of them had to juggle. We had a rehearsal after school just to touch things up and decide what we were going to play for you, and then most of them went off to practice. And then some of them got fed, maybe some of them are going to eat after, and then they're back here. We met here at 7 o'clock. They're busy. So how many of you were involved in the junior high production of Beetlejuice? Okay, great. And how many of you play at least one school sport? 2, 3. They're busy. And how many of you are on the honor roll? So it's true that we are just a club, but none of this happens without our in-school program, and we're so appreciative for the support we get here in Ellenville and what we're able to do and how successful our students are, not only in the band room, but on the athletic fields and in the classroom as well. So thank you for having us here tonight. I can't help but be so proud of them as musicians, but as people too, and the way they balance everything and usually do it with a smile on their faces. As I said at the concert, they'll do a lot for some cookies. Thank you for having us tonight. We hope to see you at one of our concerts coming up, and we've got one last tune for you, Hand Clap.
Thank you, Mrs. Schoonmaker. Thanks to all of our junior high jazz band, and let's give them one more round of applause. Thank you very much. Nice photo. You guys are certainly welcome to stay. I'm sure you probably... Okay, that's good. Thank you. We'll move on to our next item. That is the Perfect Attendance Awards, and we will start out with our the head of it, Susan Ireland. Susan, you want to come up to the podium? Along with Nicole I. and Carl Pabon.
So good evening. I'm Susan Ireland. I'm one of the administrators here at Ellenville, and I'm with tonight Mrs. I, our elementary principal, and our junior senior high school principal, Mr. Pabon. And we're here to celebrate tonight 10 students that are district-wide that have perfect attendance, I call it. 100 days, no absences, no late arrivals, no early dismissals, and no skipped classes. So you're going to be introduced to them by a video that we're going to show you that showcases our 10 children. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hi, my name is Eva Rafanos, and I'm in 11th grade.
I'm Evan Quick. I am in 10th grade.
My name is David Lynn, and I'm in 9th grade.
My name is Michaela Rowe, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Brittany Zuniga, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is LeMay, and I'm in 6th grade.
Pedro Cabrera, in 6th grade.
My name's Ariana, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Ingrid Lee, and I'm in 5th grade.
I'm in pre-K, and my name is Anais.
I like school because I can see my friends, socialize. I like the teachers, subjects, and sports.
Every subject that my teacher teaches me, it just interests me in some way. And I also get to see my friends. I get to sing in chorus and play in band.
I like school because I get to learn stuff every day and see my friends.
I like school mainly because of friends, and I like to learn new things.
Because it's very fun to play centers, go outside for recess, and eat lunch and play music.
The reason I come to school is because of my teachers' attitudes, because they're just such welcoming people, and they teach so well, it makes me want to learn more.
The reason I come to school is to be able to learn more about the subjects I want to learn, and to help set up a good mindset and a good routine for a future job I want to do.
I want to come to school mostly to maintain my high grades and to play the sports that I enjoy, and also to hang around my friends.
I want to come to school because, like my family, they always want me to go to school, and there's a lot of fun things at school that you can do.
I want to see all my friends and all my teachers.
My favorite things about school are recess, friends.
I like learning, mostly history, seeing my teachers, people I know.
My teachers and my friends and my recess and my lunch and my sensors.
Some advice I have for other students is to show up to school as much as possible because it really impacts your grade when you're able to show up and participate every single day.
1, go to your guidance counselor and possibly ask for classes that you'd be more interested in, so it would motivate you guys to come to school and be, able to look forward to something. Also, it's always great to have a buddy who you're constantly excited to see, because they also motivate you to come to school just to have someone to look forward to.
Always look at the bright side of things and have a positive mindset.
That they should find something that they like about school every day that they come to it.
It's not only important for your academics to obviously keep up with work and have good grades and for your future in college or whatever you want to accomplish, but it's also good to keep a good mindset, and it helps the positivity stay within you and a great mental health.
Just keep attending.
I think it's important because you will get smarter and you get to go to college and get a good job.
If you don't come to school, you don't get any champ hours.
My inspiration for school, it's my mother and my father.
I would say my mom has always pushed me into trying to succeed, especially in school or anything I wanted to put my mind to. But also, I would say just come to school every day. I'm the one that pushes myself as well, because I could be not feeling well mentally, but I just keep reminding myself of those things that motivate me, and I just push myself to get on that bus and come here bright and early to accomplish all my stuff.
Mostly my parents and teachers I see, and myself.
I get my inspiration from my parents, my friends, and my teachers to come to school, and I'm so lucky to have such a great group of people that support me.
I'm thankful for my dad, my mom, Miss Riddin, and Mr. Barr.
I'd like to give thanks to my parents, my brother, my friends, Miss Murdo, Miss Lindsay, Miss Reese, and Mr. Grigliano, and Miss Brush.
I would like to thank the teachers I have been with and my friends and family.
My mom, my dad, and my 6th grade teacher, Miss Dragon Chuck, and also my friends.
I'm thankful for my mom and dad for helping me to get perfect attendance in school.
That has a lot of wow factor, doesn't it? Honesty out of the mouth of babes, even if they are a junior in high school. She had a lot of good things, and all of our older kids had great advice. Our younger kids spoke from their heart, which they all did. So it's pretty amazing. So we're going to now present them with certificates, and we'd like the students to come up. Their principals will give you your certificate. Then you'll go around the table and shake everyone's hand. All right, so if you could just make your way up here to us. We'll start with the elementary school, and we'll start with Ariana Brooks. Ariana. Next is Pedro Cabrera. LeMay Chavez. Anais LaRoche. And Zhangrui Lee. Okay, our junior, senior high students. Unfortunately, David Lynn isn't here, but let's give him a great round of applause this evening. It's the only time he's ever been absent, but his family does have a restaurant here in town. Ava Orfanos. Evan Quick. Oh, our little... Oh, yep. We have something else. We'll just hold on one second. He'll come right here.
Tim, you want to take that over?
All right, I'll do it. Oh, come over here, Eva. So we also want to recognize Eva because at the last board meeting, we had the winners of the Ulster County Media Contest, and Eva was the winner for the Best Radio PSA in Ulster County, but she was at in a choir a concert last time at board meeting, so she was unable to accept her award there, but I want to play her piece that you guys can hear her radio PSA.
Hey everyone, today I'd like to talk about teenage vaping. Although it may seem like a harmless trend amongst teens, the truth is much more troubling. Here are some main reasons why teenage vaping is harmful and why we must act upon it. First and foremost, vaping poses significant health risks. Many e-cigarettes contain nicotine, which can harm brain development, particularly in teenagers. This addiction can lead to long-term health problems, including respiratory issues. Moreover, vaping affects academic and social life adversely. Nicotine dependence results in low concentration, poor memory, and in general, poor performance at school. Furthermore, teenagers who vape may be more likely to be involved in other hazardous behaviors, which of course will affect their future prospects and overall well-being. In all, teen vaping is a serious problem, extremely hazardous to health. It exposes youth to very dangerous chemicals that could further affect their academic and social life. It is of prime importance to inform you all about the dangers, and I encourage healthier, safer choices. Together we can create a healthier future for our youth.
Okay, and Evan Quick, one of our 100 perfect days. Next we have Michaela Rowe. And our final is Brittany Zuninga. Okay, so going along with perfect attendance, I've been asked to share a few things about the initiative that has been forth this year. We're trying to combat chronic absenteeism, and if you look up at the board up here, there are several things that we've put into play this year to try and help our children come to school on a regular basis. Some of those things include communication with parents and caregivers, which includes student data, helpful hints, and health information. In the elementary school, kids get an attendance ticket every day to put in to buckets, and then they get chosen for prizes. We have the Give Me 20, which is every 20 days we have a celebration of students that come to school in the junior, senior high school for 20 days in a row for a specific amount of time, specific time period, and they also are recognized and given a prize. We have quarterly outstanding attendance awards. Those are the lawn signs that you see out in the school district. We have about 1,000 students in the district that have those. We have quarterly class competitions. We have a March Madness attendance competition going on now, both schools. Late arrival monitoring, student attendance plans for those students who are having difficulty, and of course our 100-day attendance celebration. Go ahead to the next slide. Here's some raw data for you to look at. This is our daily attendance, which is totally different than chronic absenteeism. So the daily attendance, we run about 89% district-wide. We had last year in the elementary, at this time, there were 9,512 absences. This year there's 8,779. That's 733 less at this time frame. The high school, junior, senior high had 11,229. We're down here 1,282 for 9,947 at this time. I know those numbers are huge, but what that shows us is that the number is going down of students that aren't coming to school who are absent. And so overall last year at this time we were at 88% daily attendance rate, and right now we're at 89%. A percentage doesn't seem like a lot, but when you see the raw numbers as to how many students and how many children it is that it makes the difference, it is quite a bit. Okay, next slide. So that brings me to chronic absenteeism. This is the data from the state, and I know I reported to you earlier in the year. And then earlier in the year, we looked like we were doing a really good job because we hadn't hit January, February, March, where we have seen a tremendous uptick in illness across the school district. So above the first line is this year, enrollment, number of students who are chronically absent right now is 633, which brings us to 42.5% chronic absenteeism rate at this point. Last year, at the end of the year, the enrollment was 1459. We had 704 students who were chronically absent at the end of the year, and the state reports we had 48.3% was our chronic absenteeism rate. So again, doesn't look huge, but we are making progress, and we are seeing more students coming to school. I can tell you that the tardiness has gone down. That's almost in half the number of kids that were coming through the door on a daily basis tardy to the number that are coming through the door tardy now. So, and we started really looking at that in the junior senior high school at the beginning of the second semester. So that's just some information for you.
Thank you, Ms. Ireland.
You're welcome.
Any questions from the board?
Ms. Ireland, will you be working with Mr. L to have the video that you shared here posted to the social media outlets and website?
Yes, we're going to put it on the YouTube channel.
Well, it was a question whether
Yes.
you intended to.
Yes, we have been.
Okay.
Yes, and we would like to put it on the YouTube channel to share it with the public. I think that it speaks for itself.
Agreed.
So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and let's give a round of applause to all those students that have worked so hard to be here for 100 days. I had the pleasure of having Phil Brooks work for me. He's now in the Fallsburg SRO. I just want to say to Ariana Brooks, you have more days at school than he had at work, so thank you for coming. No, just kidding, Phil. Just kidding. Thank the band again. Round of applause to them. Well, everybody, you are all certainly welcome to stay for the budget presentation. I don't see a lot of
fun.
A lot of interest in that, so we're going to take a 10-minute recess until you guys have a chance to either stay or run out the door as fast as you can. Thank you. 10-minute recess.
Madam Superintendent, the dates that were shared by Mrs. Schoonmaker.
Our next presentation is the full budget overview by Mr. Vince Napoli.
Thank you very much. I'm usually not nervous when I speak publicly, but after those two presentations, I'm actually pretty nervous. No, I got it. So everything that I'm going to be talking about tonight, thank you, Kelly, you've already seen, so I'm going to go through my slides pretty quick. They will be up on our website tomorrow. So the budget hasn't changed that much since the last time I presented. It's up just under 6%, 5.97%. The tax levy submitted to the State Education Department and the Office of the State Comptroller is at 4.52%. With every budget presentation at this time of the year, we need to present the admin, program, and capital. Those are three different components of every school district's budget, and it represents the administrative on what it takes to run the schools, capital, our buildings and grounds, what we pay to keep our buildings running, and then our program, that's our instructional programs. And these percentages are listed accordingly up on the slide, and they will also be on our website. Revenues, this slide is for revenues. Again, we've talked about this many times. This slide here is a detailed slide that basically shows each of the major departments of our school district and what their budget was for this current school year and the upcoming school year, and line by line, and I'm not going to go into all the details. However, when we present the budget book or when it goes out to the community and as well on the website, all of these will be in grave detail. This is our state aid. We do not have the final numbers from New York State, so we're hoping that our foundation aid will go up from what we got from the governor, and that will change our revenues, and if that does happen, then I will present to the board what that looks like.
Vince, that is the state aid slide you moved up.
Thank you very much.
You gotta go back.
I was one click behind. I'll take a moment to pause regarding the contingency budget. So in the event that our budget does not pass, we have to go to an austerity budget or a contingent budget. That's if the board chooses not to go out to vote again, whether they put the same budget out or whether they amend the budget. But if the budget doesn't pass, then there are certain line items that we cannot have in the budget, and those are typically capital purchases. So for example, not that we're doing it this year, but it's the easiest way for me to explain it is, let's say we had in the budget to buy a new tractor for $50,000, that would be a capital expense. That is not in the budget, this is just an example. So if we were to go to a contingent budget, that item would have to be removed from the budget. We are not allowed to purchase items like that if we are on a contingent budget. What we like to do at this time of the year, these are not final numbers. I use this year's budget numbers, that's 24, 25, to talk about what the tax impact would be for each property owner. And we have, if you look at the bottom left, that's how many parcels we tax to raise our tax revenues. So what we look at is, just to make it really easy for everybody, the average market assessed value of someone's home of $100,000. If the budget were to go out the way it is right now and we levied the tax that we have right now, the box on the lower left basically represents what each homeowner, or property owner, if their house was assessed at $100,000, what the increase or decrease would look like on their tax bill. $13.57 for the town of Warsing, the town of Rochester, $39.08. Now this is monthly. And then the town of Mamakating, $38.13. As we get into the September or the summer into the fall, once we know what the equalization rates are and we get some numbers from the state, these numbers will change and I'll present you with more accurate data. Questions that we often field, myself and Marisol in the superintendent's office, our district clerk. Are there any benefits to if the district budget is defeated? The answer is no. As I said earlier, we have to go to a contingent budget. It can have a negative impact on our programs, and the big thing now, well, it's been a long time, but since I became business official in the 12-13 school year, if we go to a contingent budget, we cannot levy our taxes higher than what it is in the prior year. So that anything that we have in that 4.52% increase, we can't levy that. We have to levy what we levied this year, and that is a forever burden that we carry if the budget does not pass. How do we vote? You can pick up registration forms at the district clerk's office. That's right here on 28 Maple Avenue. You can register at the Ulster County Board of Elections or Sullivan County Board of Elections. The vote is here in this room in the Senior High School Media Center from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the vote is on May 20th, 2025. If you can't make it to vote, there are absentee ballots available with Marisol in the district office, but they have to be to her no later than 5 p.m. on the day of the budget vote. And with that, I'm done. I'm happy to field any questions, whether it's by email here, or phone calls to my office, either way. Thank you.
Word. If not, thank you, Mr. Napoli. We will move on to reports, information. I just want to say that I had an opportunity to watch Mamma Mia in a full dress rehearsal. Got to take a sneak peek at what they were doing, and it was a fabulous production, well run. Kudos to everybody involved in that. What a thing to have happen here in Ellenville. Other than that, John, where are we on the Hall of Fame committee?
We're moving along smoothly, Mr. President. I did want to mention to the board that, as you all know, I'm still the district representative to New York State School Boards Association. But recently, through the efforts and support of Superintendent Wiles and BOCES Superintendent Jonas Schenker, I recently was named to the board of directors of the New York State Rural Schools Association. Again, for those of you that don't know, they deal with schools like us and Rondout and Dover and all the smaller schools that are rural, and some of the issues that we're facing, like transportation, dropping enrollments, coordinating with other districts for services. And I'm going to be going to Rochester on Friday for the Board of Directors meeting out there. It's my first time. I'm just thrilled to be on it. I think it's a wonderful organization. I know Superintendent Wiles feels the same way. The things that they do and to help us, and the ideas that we bring back to the school boards to deal with the issues that are unique to rural schools.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Arts Committee.
So we've had a few meetings. We're making great progress. We have a survey that just went out to the staff. We're getting that back hopefully this week or next week, and then we're meeting again at the end of the month. And we have some good plans for some activities and things coming up by the end of the year.
Thank you, Jody. All right. Any other board members? If not, we'll move on to our... Yes, sir.
Over the last couple of years, I've made the proposal that for especially nights like tonight, we have over 100 people in here, and everybody's crammed in. I noticed there were a couple of people in a wheelchair over here, or elderly people that had difficulty sitting in this. And I know that you always tell me reasons why we can't, but I believe we'd all be more comfortable if we had our meetings like they used to be. And of course, I'm going back 3 or 4 decades. The elementary auditorium, where there's a big stage we can sit in front, and the community could sit in the seats, and if there is a presentation, everybody could see it comfortably. I realize that's a little more work for Mr. Lukaseski and his people, but it's not like we're 2 miles down the road, it's down the hallway. So I'd like us to address that at some point in the near future to see if it's more comfortable than having people sitting on top of each other. And also to see the kids that we're honoring, or our staff, or things like that, it would be much more comfortable. And I'd really like to encourage us to consider that again. Thank you.
You're welcome. Vince, could you look into that for us? Okay, thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Willie. They turned off your mic.
No, we didn't.
It's about time. I also attended the the latest production of Mamma Mia. My wife and I attended the Saturday showing, and I just wanted to remark on the organization and the organization of, from the point we pulled into the parking lot, walked into the school, sat in the theater, and then during intermission, the way that the concession stand was managed, again, was remarkable. It was just great to see everyone there, cooperative, it was organized, there was very, very little disorder, and I just thought that that was something that we should thank the support staff for.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree with John. Like tonight, like on nights like tonight for these big presentations, the band was kind of like, you know, congested over there, and people. It may, you know, we definitely have to take a look at that because it would have been more comfortable, more spread out. And I agree with that.
It's also easier for people watching at home to see everybody.
Yes. I'd like to thank, again, like to thank the band. It was refreshing to hear the band come here and play, and thank Miss Christine Schoonmaker for all her hard work on this. Anybody else? On that, we'll move on to Jack Henry.
Good evening, everyone. So for happenings and events, right at the top of the order of the Senior High School Musical took place on Friday and Saturday, and I personally would like to congratulate everybody that was involved. I got firsthand experience seeing everybody rehearse, and a lot of hard work was put into that, and seeing everyone's emotions at the end, knowing what they accomplished, was very special. So congratulations to everyone. The Battle of the Classes is going on this week. It will finish off with a pep rally Friday afternoon. This junior senior high school heat will play the Elementary Suns on Thursday. The tickets are $5 and the game is at 6 o'clock. For athletics, all spring sports are underway. The first track meet is on April 7th at home versus Spackenkill. The first softball game is on April 4th at home versus Poughkeepsie. The first baseball game will be on the 7th at Highland. The home opener is on the 8th against Dover. And finally, the boys tennis first match is on Friday at Spackenkill. For fundraisers, the class of 2027 is selling fun pasta, and it's springtime, which means there's more merchandise available for the season. The link is tinyurl.com/ECSD merch, or you can use the QR code.
Thank you, Jack. Superintendent Wiles.
Just a few things this evening. I do want to inform the board, I don't know if you have this in your report or not, that we have gone out for bid for the work for the Hall of Fame hallway, and we've gone out twice, and we have not had any response from contractors. So Vince is working with the architect and the construction manager to see if we can drum up some contractor to do the work off the specifications we have. So he'll provide more information to you at the next meeting, but we're hoping we can find somebody to do that work. I know it was in his presentation, but the petitions to nominate board members for the upcoming election will be available on April 7th in the district clerk's office, and they have to be returned on April 21st. The other thing, Vince, I'll ask you to report on is that we have the bank that we normally do tax collection with has been changed to a credit union, and school districts are prohibited from banking with credit unions. So we are looking at a different bank to collect for us, and looking at the implications of that, where the checks will be mailed to as far as lock boxes go. One of the other things we're talking about, and we're surveying other school districts, is who still collects cash at the school district site. Many of them have given that up. We do collect it, so he's going to present some options to the board if we want to still collect cash here, or we want to possibly have the bank collect it, depending upon what bank we have. We have some limitations on banks, so I hope at the next meeting he'll have a full report on what the options are there. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Napoli.
I have nothing else to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. White.
I just want to congratulate you, Jack, on being the first member of this, the pit band for the
Mamma Mia show. So that's something that we didn't recognize here tonight. So congratulations on that. That was awesome. And my understanding, you are the first student to be selected as part of the pit band. Is that correct?
Believe it or not, it is not.
It's not? I thought
No.
that's what the program said.
Way before my time, before I was even born, there were some students that were in the pit band. Ms. Gillette's son, for an example, was one of them that I found out on Saturday. So
Okay. Well, it's still a big accomplishment.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. I also want to acknowledge at the last board meeting, I had shared that we were in the process of selecting students to be representatives for the New York State MBK program, and I'm proud to announce that Henry Jones and Caleb Norat Roldan have been selected by Mr. Mulhern and Mr. Espinosa to be our representatives to New York State MBK. We'll be inviting them to a board meeting after they're inducted in May, and to celebrate and acknowledge their accomplishments in that program. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Prakash.
I do not have any items this evening.
Thank you. We'll move on to personnel resolutions for this
Mr.
evening.
President, if I may, I'm sorry. Can we just back up to a question I had on Mr. Napoli's packet, or what was included in his report? The grandstand proposal, that grandstand is covered within the budget for the grandstand that's included in the project, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's the capital improvement project that was just passed.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
But there's no change. It was pulled out, so I just wanted to.
Well, as I get the information, I'm trying to share it with the board.
Thank you very
You're
much,
welcome.
Mr. Knapp.
While we're talking about that, there were a couple of questions about the grandstand that Vince is looking into. The top portion of the grandstand is not covered, and it was not presented as being covered where the students can film. They can film inside the press box. So we're taking a look at that to see, and we're also looking at, I think the specs called for baseboard heating. So we're going to talk about what the differential in payment would be if we put a split unit on top instead of I think it's going to be, it could be significant, but that being said, we are looking at it. So I just want the whole board to know.
Thank you. John.
Yeah, question for Vince on that. The little drawing that you presented to us, I mean, Willie can understand it. He's in the building business. I couldn't tell. It looked like a foreign puzzle to me. Could you present us perhaps with a picture or something next time that those of us who I'd like to say are older, but I'd say more experienced on the board, and our sight and hearing isn't what it used to be. It's very difficult to see that little picture. So if we could do that.
I would be more than happy to do that. In fact, it's very similar to the grandstand that's at the Rondout Valley School District, so I can take a picture of a real one that's standing on the 50-yard line for you.
Okay, thank you. And also, Lisa, I would strongly encourage us to put some sort of cover up for the people. You know, obviously this is a tremendous improvement over the decades long ago worth that we have now. It's ready to fall down. But I would suggest putting a cover over the top where people have to film. You know, with the field being turf, games won't get canceled because of weather. With the press box, teams will be able to separate with their scouting and coaching reports, and the filmers should have something along those lines too, just for inclement weather.
We're looking at it. That wasn't included in the original budgets. It really modeled after Rondout. And my understanding from Vince initially is there's some concern about the height, wind shear, you know, how to safely do that. But we're asking for some
Please tell
input
me
on
it's
that.
not the planes coming overhead.
Not that high.
Okay.
But I will say that it might be a good idea, like for the last project we did on these things. I know that somebody did like a little video on what it would look like. If it's going to mirror what Rondout looks like, great. But sometimes they can do one of those, do you know what I'm talking about? One of those, a rendered piece, or even like a video to show exactly how it's going to look. So there are like no surprises. And that for other things as we move forward in the project.
Thank you. Moving on to personnel resolutions for this evening. Under 6.1, tenure appointment. Upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that Marina Russo holds a professional New York State certificate in the area of social worker, and who, upon completing a satisfactory probationary period ending April 11, 2025, be granted tenure in the area of school social worker, effective April 12, 2025. Been moved? Second? Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 6.2, tenure. Upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that Brian Dawson, who holds an initial New York State certificate in the area of mathematics, grade 7-12, and who upon completing a satisfactory probationary period ending April 25th, 2025, it's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 6.3, permanent appointment. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved the appointment of Jet Hernandez, teacher aide, be made permanent following a successful probationary period effective March 17, 2025.
So moved.
Been moved. Second. Discussion? John?
So when do we honor the tenure
June
appointees? And we do it at the end of the year?
Yep.
Okay.
It's on the calendar this year, too.
Same for permanent appointments?
Yes, we do both SRP and the ETA at the same time.
Good, thank you.
Substitute personnel, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, excuse me. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Substitute personnel, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of
Move the
Schools, the list has been moved. Seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Resignation. 6.5, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved the resignation of Judy Power, internal claims order be accepted, effective April 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 6.6, internal claims auditor, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that Dawn Van Cleek be appointed as internal claims auditor at a contractual rate of 30. So moved. It's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Under 6.7, intramural sports, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved the following individuals be approved for intramural sports for the 24-25 school year at a rate of $47 per hour work not to exceed 25 hours per sport. We move the list. List has been moved. Is there a second? Second? Discussion? John?
Yes, I've expressed this point of view before, and I went with it because our numbers were low and we were trying to rebuild the programs, but I've said repeatedly that I don't believe that recruiting in the 9 through 12 grade level is, by doing these things, is not good. Most kids know what they want to do, and I don't think that coaches should be paid to do these intramurals to get their numbers up. That should be done throughout the process, starting in the lower grades, even in 6th grade when kids are coming up to modified, or the junior high kids. So I'm not really in favor of doing the 7 to 12 programs. I think that needs to be done on the lower level. You all told me that we do it for a short period of time till we get our numbers up, but I don't believe that that's what we should be doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Burns. Motion carries. Under 6.8, June Regents Review, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved the following teachers be appointed for June Regents Review at a contractual rate of $55 per hour work, not to exceed.
So moved.
It's been moved. Seconded. Discussion? Jody?
Are all the positions filled, or do we have any vacancies for Regents Review?
I can verify, but I believe they are all filled. These two were additions because they were, these exams are being done earlier. They're the 2 new exams this year.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 6.9, probation extension. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved the probationary appointment of Aaron Desarme, tenure area of literacy, be extended to December 13, 2025 due to an unpaid leave of absence.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. 6.10, probation extension. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved the probationary appointment of Katrina Furchell in the tenure area of special education be extended to November 24, 2026 due to an unpaid leave of absence.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 6.11, special ed coordinator. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved that Aubrey Carcamaro be appointed as a special education coordinator, grades 7, 12 for the 24-25 school year in accordance with the contract.
So moved.
Been moved, seconded, discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 6.12, MOA. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the memorandum of agreement between the Ellenville Central School District and the ETS RPA Teachers Unit be approved as attached. It's been moved.
Second.
Second, discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 6.13, resource room additional duty. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that Stephanie Baxter be approved to provide resource room service for up to 81 hours from March 26, 2025 to June 27, 2025.
So moved.
It has been moved. Seconded. Discussion. All those, Mr. Burns.
Is this because we didn't have somebody, or?
Yes, we have a student who is on home instruction that is entitled to resource room services. We finally secured who it is, and the memorandum of agreement has preceded this, and this is the appointment of the person who will provide the service.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. All right, for education resolutions this evening, 7.1.
Motion to move 7.1 and 7.2.
Been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Under 8.
Motion to move 8.1 to 8.6.
8.1 to 8.6 been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion.
A question on 8.6, key construction services. This is an approval of their final requisition or final payment. Okay, and they've delivered all of the documentation required for the processing of that payment? Correct. Okay, thank you very much.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Under other.
Motion to move 9.1 through 9.6.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor?
Going too fast, Mr. President. Lisa, I've seen colleges do this, and I know that based on 9.6 that people make donations to the school district. They're accepted by the Board of Education. I've noticed a lot of colleges are doing, like where my son is, they're doing a 1 day for Ball State where you can make donations on that 1 day and they're processed. Can we do that for, say, our athletic program or a music program or things like that? Hold a 1 day for Blue Devils and accept donations from people through credit cards or checks or those types of things? I mean, I know people pay taxes and stuff, but sometimes people like to contribute to further help groups that might need it, and I thought that that would be a great idea to do it. Do you need to check with the lawyers, or?
And just the auditor to make sure we get it done the correct way, but we will, yes, we will look into it and see how we can coordinate that.
Also, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to go ahead and move forward with the Ellenville Educational Foundation because we haven't had anything going with it, so I'll be making contacts.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Mark your calendars. The next meeting is April 8th. It's our next regular scheduled board meeting. Anybody want to see anything on that agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? We're adjourned.